Yeah.
So good. All right, we're going to try to squeeze in three questions. We're going to Colonel Scott Heathman, then we're going to go to Melissa, and then Rachel is our cleanup hitter. Let's go.
Hey, Ryan, I appreciate you being with us today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Scott.
I grew up in Rochester, Minnesota. So volleyball is obviously a good winter sport. We didn't have a men's team, just a women's team. But I played a lot of intramurals in between my winter or fall and spring sports. And then so I decided to hang out with the women's team a lot, and I would, pick up volleyballs and, rack them up and make sure that, they were ready to go at practice. And over time, got to play in a libero position quite a bit because they started to learn that a little 5 foot nothing guy like me could absorb a hit. And, and I love that position. But it was interesting. At the end of the season, the coach, she pulled me aside and she's like, "Hey, are you thinking about playing in college at all?" Because she was a referee for intramurals and she's seen me play. I said, "No, I'm going into ROTC. It's just not going to be a time thing for me." But she taught me about the value of culture. Oh, I said, I don't think I'm tall enough to make a college team. I just don't think I have the body composition and things like that. She's like, if the coach where you're going to school is worth anything, they would look at what you bring to the team. And I'm curious at the Olympic level, you certainly look at, body types, how tall are they for certain positions and skills, but how much of a percentage do, superior coaches, even as they're building these superior teams, look at that kind of culture piece? Because as you said, that can be a make or break if you just have a team of all-stars and not an all-star team.
Yeah. I think it's huge. I think it really is big. I know if I was coaching the team, that would be it would be a hot button item for me to be considering. I think team dynamic, especially in the sport of volleyball, because volleyball, I would argue, is the ultimate team sport. And the reason why I say that is because as soon as I touch the ball, now I am dependent upon my teammate to handle the next ball. So in volleyball, once I touch the ball, I can't touch it again. So I'm constantly depending upon my teammates to better the ball and to help the situation become better that allows us to be successful. And so when I'm putting a team together, obviously, I have a great mentor who told me, and I love this quote from him. He says, "You can't win the Derby with donkeys." So talent matters, right? You're not going to win the Derby with donkeys. And so talent is obviously a factor, but culture is equally as big of a factor because you can actually see, and we've probably heard lots of examples of teams that on paper weren't supposed to win, and then they win because they've got this dynamic that allows them to excel at another level, even though the talent might not be as good. And so I think finding the balance of talent and culture, much like in organizations, finding the balance of effective strategy and that strategy execution and culture management, those are the organizations that create magic, and they do it over the long term. And I don't think it's any different for sports.